Hey, it's the Chubby Bartender Podcast with your host, Jason Gillum and Chad Reynolds. With a special guest each week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hey, look who's back.
Hey.
What's going on?
Back from the Great North.
Hey, how about these shirts?
How about it?
I mean, what do you think of that?
Steve Michael, Judge Michael, whatever. Probably one of the more thoughtful gifts I've ever received.
Well, it's just, he's got so much detail in here.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, you'd have to be an insider to even understand one.
Well, that's what I said. Whoever made these shirts was listening.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I mean... And he said,
Snapping turtle jerky.
yeah, I mean, that's perfect. I mean, mine, he's actually got my high school football number on there.
Learning
man.
is the evolution of the mind.
Yeah.
Does mine say
See,
that?
he's got, no, man. He could tell I was deeper than you, dude. And he's got a little bourbon and cigar.
Ooh.
That's saying, and then he's
You got a mushroom.
Music and a mushroom. Yeah.
I didn't get a damn mushroom. Is it on the back of mine?
Turn around. Let me see. No, Gillum Chubby Appalachian authenticity since August 19th, 2020.
No shrooms.
No shrooms. Dude.
Steve, I like shrooms. No, mine's got the snapping turtle $20 and a disappointment in every bag.
Yeah. Now, what is the? You've got something below that too. What you got there?
Gluten-free, organic.
Very nice. Very nice.
So it says something, 20 disappointment in every
bag. Yeah.
Swear to
That's
God,
awesome.
for real.
Yeah.
Budges, I swear to God, for real.
Yeah.
I love it.
Hey,
Thank you,
great.
Judge. We
Yes,
appreciate
thank you
it.
very much, Judge Michael.
And hey, we've got some other goodies.
Yeah, these things look like
This came from another Steve.
Oh, okay.
This came from Mr. Steve Lloyd.
Oh my goodness.
Would you like one, sir? We'll give you one for
use
being
one of those.
on the guest here this evening.
Yeah. Take that home and enjoy it.
Yeah. I got a couple in my office.
Yeah, those are nice.
Those
are real nice.
There it is. So now we got something to place our
Yeah,
drinks.
now you got a little momentum.
Yeah, so we thank all you guys for listening and paying attention to us. Steve Lloyd, Judge Michael, Steve Michael.
Yeah.
Can't thank you guys enough for everything. I enjoyed the hell out of Judge Michael's podcast.
I'll tell you what, that was one of my favorite ones
Didn't
that
you?
we've done.
Yeah. I mean, hell, you have to listen to it 2 or 3 times. So how did you like it?
Well, I mean, he's definitely coming back. And we'll go through the shirts line by line, right?
Oh, that smells good.
Taste it.
Shit.
There's like 4 different kinds you can get at Kroger's.
Oh, that's pretty good. A unique taste of natural grapefruit.
You'll have to read the box.
Juniper berry flavors with gin. Juniper berries.
Yeah, this is the Finnish long drink. Finnish as in Finland. Developed during the back half of World War II.
That tastes like a grapefruit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Just like a grapefruit. Do you think?
Absolutely.
I would put it a notch above a seltzer.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
better.
this
Way
isn't
better.
a White Claw.
No, this isn't a White Claw. No, I'm good. How many calories is in that bad boy?
We're guessing low.
It's dangerous.
Yeah. Like, if this doesn't even make you fat, this stuff could be.
Where's your box? You got the box?
I do, and they got the story right there. You check
I don't
that
give
story.
it. I don't care about their story. It says long drink is a top-selling category of alcoholic beverages in Finland, a legend that is now available in America. The roots of long drinks go back to 1952 Summer Games in Helsinki. The country of 4 million people was still poor and recovering from World War II, full of pride and for their country. The Finns wanted to give athletes and tourists an unforgettable experience. However, the officials had a concern: how to serve drinks quickly enough to all the visitors. To solve this problem, they come up with a revolutionary idea of a new age liquor drink, and so the first long drinks were born. Now this legend has finally been brought to America by the next generation of Finns who want the world to experience this refreshing and unique Finnish long drink. Ain't got a calorie count on that puppy?
I can't find
I
it.
always love a drink with a story.
Oh,
I do too. Yeah, it enhances it. Makes me want to buy the T-shirt.
Well, we're off to a great start. We got a good beverage. We got all new apparel.
Oh my goodness! I mean, brand new shirts, a
Coasters.
a beverage we've never tried before.
And one more thing.
Oh my goodness!
to go with the beverage.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Corey.
right.
That's awesome, man.
Okay, and hey, we got to thank some guys.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
who you want to kick off with first?
Well, hey, man, I would like to say that since the last time you had mentioned that McDonald's now has a donut.
Yeah.
I've eaten one of those said donuts, and they're awesome.
I guarantee it.
I mean, awesome.
Is it available on the app?
I mean, I don't know any other way to get it. I don't know. Don't know any other way to get it. It popped up there the other day. You had said that they've got it.
Oh, yeah.
I thought, well, I'll wait it out. I'm not going through the drive-through. And then next thing you know, it's on there.
It's on there. Right.
So I ordered
was
two
it
of
under
them.
McAfee's or was it?
It was under the bakery.
Sweet treats?
Yeah.
Sweet
under
treats
the
and
baked
beverages.
goods, Yeah.
Baked
yeah.
goods.
How do we get our own category?
Oh, that's what if Munn doesn't give us a parking spot.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't pull in there now and the app spots aren't full. Where else is he advertising that? Munn?
Yeah.
I expect some clarification.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing our logo on one of those signs.
Maybe a QR code.
Yeah,
get
something.
get them some points.
Yeah. And I mean, maybe we got our own parking spot that we pull in there.
Yeah.
And it's sort of VIP service, things of that nature. Maybe an extra Diet Coke or something.
Maybe we could
Yeah.
do something to where maybe like everybody that uses our parking spot and like maybe we get a like out of we donate $1 to the Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, there you go. Well, or how about let's dig into Munn's pocket. I mean, everybody that does that, they get 2 extra hot mustard sauces.
Yeah, or a large sweet tea. Or
absolutely. Or glazed donut.
Or apple fritter.
Yeah. I mean,
we were on our way back from Nashville last week, and Ethan got 2 of them, and I refrained.
Yeah, well, you must be hard on it. Then.
I'm trying to lose some weight. Massey's probably still skinnier than me, and I can't take it.
Okay, not a direct competition.
Not a direct, just more of a just he's fat.
Yeah, well,
but hey, thank you, Brad and Sarah. Jackson, Oak Hill, Wellston, MacArthur, McDonald's. Look them up. They do great things. And whenever you pull in there, get the app, and then hopefully we've got a chubby parking spot here real soon.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And if you get a chance, take a donut over to Fatty. He was still looking thin the last time I saw him.
Speaking of him, man, I'll tell you, grab a donut and go over there and talk about your next construction project with him.
You got something you're needing built, just go over on Ralph Street. Give the boys at Geiger Brothers a call.
Yeah.
Get you an apple fritter and a cup of coffee with the app, then go see Massey over at Ralph Street.
That'll really get him thinking.
Or go home and call 740-286-0800 or look them up at GeigerBrothersConstruction.com, and then you just call them from there. But
Geiger Brothers.
They can do it all.
They're awesome.
I didn't get a chance to see him, and you know where I was? You know where I went Monday?
Where's that?
AP Prep.
Ah, the man.
He was not there. I think he heard that I was going to be there, maybe wanting to joust a little, spar off.
You're feeling spry.
Yeah, and he didn't want to.
He thought, nah. Yeah.
No doubt. I heard there was an opening of a Ponderosa close by. Oh, that's probably where he got derailed.
You figure Prater and Massey went over there?
No, I was with Prater.
Oh, Prater was there, but Massey probably at that.
It's Prater and Jubal. They've got me going ate up into these bikes. So after our work, Gibson did his workout, and you can check those out at apprep.info.
Yeah.
Gibson did his workout, and while he was doing that, I did the boxing workout.
Oh, how was that?
I'm just now mobile.
I think I'd rather be on the bike than that.
But this was just a Monday night straight hour cardio fitness. The boxing class, and there was everybody in there from probably a 25-year-old guy, a 25-year-old girl to 60-year-old men and women.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll tell you what, Prater's got it going over there. It's a great,
he has
great spot.
A great thing. I have never heard of anybody having a bad experience there.
Me either. I'll truly say I've never heard one person complain about their experience there, which that's pretty odd, man. He's been in business for a long time. And, I mean, we kind of attract bitchers. So but there were, none. Everybody just talks about how great it is, and I believe him.
Top notch. I can't say enough. Man, he was there helping his crew that he's got over there. Just the system, the process, everything about it perfect. So good job. Look them up. apprep.info. Get your assessment scheduled. They'll put you in a class. So look them up.
Let's talk about insurance rates.
Hey, you know something? You'll appreciate this. So twice here, very recently, I've been dealing with widows.
Okay,
and life insurance and annuities, it's just now what we were doing 20 years ago is just now, I'm just now really not taking a deep dive into.
Okay.
So give us a call, 740-395-0357, the number over at Gillum Insurance. And hey, you know, we're here to talk lots of stuff going on with COVID. Make sure your family is covered. Life insurance has came so far. I mean, used to 20 years ago, whenever you and I were selling this together, if you had diabetes and high blood pressure, you couldn't get it. Couldn't get it. Well, now, shoot, that's A1 rating. You're done. Easy.
There you go.
Easy. Life insurance coming a long way. People are living longer, and they're living. I wouldn't say they're living healthier, but the insurance business in general has adapted. So,
absolutely.
with COVID and everything going on, this is check it out, man. You don't want to. You never know. So
it's on sale today. Could be going tomorrow.
So we have a man from Rio Grande here. Welcome, sir. We have the head rugby coach, right?
Yep, director of rugby.
Director of rugby.
Well, man, that's a lot cawler title than head coach.
Right?
Yeah,
I was thinking gaffer, head coach, but director is what's on my resume.
That's
Director
awesome,
of rugby at Rio Grande University. Is this the first year?
First year, been here for 8 months, and they announced this position back in December. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So you've been here 8 months. Where are you from?
Originally Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and then I went to college, coached previously in Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay. Where'd you go to college at?
American International College.
Okay.
Very small school, a lot like Rio, but in the countryside.
Okay.
Small private school.
Are you saying Rio's Metro?
No. American International is in the city.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. We're out
on
in
the
country.
farm.
On the farm. I think I saw you guys practicing when I was down on the bike path the other day.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
By Bob Evans Farm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But so Rio, right now they have what? Basketball. They have a baseball team,
Soccer.
softball, soccer, and now rugby.
Rugby,
volleyball.
men's volleyball is a new sport as well. When I first got here, I inherited the soccer practice field, but there was no name. So I came up with the name of Red Valley, and everyone was like shocked. Like, I'm like, you never thought of that before? Like, it's literally like a hill surrounds the rugby pitch, and it's like, it just makes sense. Red Storm, Red Valley.
Yeah.
It fits.
It fits.
So okay, give us the evolution here.
I know nothing.
Well, Rio decided they wanted a rugby program, and then they put it out there. Hey, we're looking to start a program. We're hiring a coach.
I think the whole school board just realized like they're looking to add new athletic programs, and they're looking at up and coming sports, and they really did their due diligence, their research on newer sports, and not just sports that are becoming more popular, but what could make sense in this area. Okay. They've tried looking into football. Need a lot of resources. Expensive equipment, athletic training, dormitories, all these things. I'm sure they looked into lacrosse, but they would have no competition in this area. Lacrosse is big on the East Coast. But rugby just kind of made sense. It's a blue-collar sport. It's got the contact of football that people here in this area want to see. And we just have the resources to hold a rugby program here. So back in December, they put out an ad that they need a new head coach. And I'm originally from Milwaukee, and I was out in Boston. So I was kind of looking to get back towards mom and dad a little bit. And instead of an 18-hour drive, it's now 8 hours.
There you go.
But I've always
You can
loved
beat Boston in 8 hours from here?
I'm sorry?
You can beat Boston for 8 hours
About
from
10 hours, depending what time you hit New York City.
Milwaukee 8.
Milwaukee's 8 hours.
Milwaukee's 8. Okay,
Yeah.
10 from Boston.
But I've been a Midwest boy my whole life. I love the Midwest. People are a lot nicer. There's less traffic, better food, in my opinion. That's just the way of life I like.
So are you a professor down there, or are you just coaching rugby?
I also teach sports management courses, too.
Okay. All
yeah.
Right. Cool. So explain to me rugby. What the hell is rugby?
A lot of people.
How many men on the field?
15 players on each team out in the pitch. It's called Rugby 15s. All shapes and sizes. You've got big guys, wide bodies, thick boys.
What positions are there?
Oh, man. Okay. You got 2 props. You got a hooker. You got 2 second rows, 2 flankers, an 8-man, scrum half, fly half, centers, wing, fullback. Right? And everyone is fascinated with the position of hooker And no pun intended, it's the dirtiest job on the rugby pitch. But really, you're playing both offense and defense. It's kind of free-flowing like soccer. Like if you turn the ball over, like in basketball and soccer, you got to bust your ass and bust your tail.
So
and,
is it a lot like the soccer, like running up down the field as far as the way the game is played, or is it basically just soccer without a foot?
Yep, soccer and rugby are very comparable. A lot of people say it's like football, and I'm like, actually, when I study it, the only similarity with football is the tackle. In rugby, there's no forward pass, there's no blocking, you don't have to roll. There's no substitutions. You can sub people in rugby, but once you go once you get subbed, you can't come back in. So like soccer too, once you get subbed, you can't go back in.
No.
So
Rest of the game?
For the rest of the game.
Really?
So like basketball,
Did you know that?
in basketball, you could sub someone in every 2 seconds if you want to.
Yeah.
In rugby, nope, you got to strategically plan your subs. It's free-flowing. Every pass has to be backwards. If you fumble it, we call it a knock-on. If you fumble it forward, it's a turnover. If you fumble it backwards, you can keep playing. Every time the ball goes into touch, which is out of bounds, it's a turnover. So in football, you can run out of bounds and steal your ball. In rugby, if you run out of bounds, you turn it over. So the idea is keep the ball in play.
All or none.
Keep it playing. Keep it moving. No stoppage of play. I love game day.
First downs.
No downs. You can literally hold it's 2 40-minute halves. You could literally hold on to the ball for 40 minutes in that half if you want to. It's cool. I've seen it done actually. It's tough, but if you get tackled, you roll the ball between your legs. Your teammates, it's called a ruck. They stand over you. Basically, what I explain to people, it's like playing backyard football with your cousins on Thanksgiving Day, whatever, right? Like you just dogpile on top of each other. It's kind of like what rugby is. Organized chaos.
Yeah.
But what's really cool, I like messing with people. When I first got here, it's an exotic sport here. Not a lot of people know what rugby is. So
I lived here all my life.
I go to church, I talk to people about it, and I'm like, they're asking me what rugby is. I'm not messing with you guys at all. But I'm like, yeah, only on Tuesdays we can play with field sticks. Only on Wednesdays we have to play on our hands and knees. You know, like, and then they're like, yeah, okay. There's only 4 people in the whole town that know what rugby was. But no, I mean, I was just messing with people.
So you could literally just hold that ball for 40 minutes. Or you say there's 2 40-minute halves?
2 40-minute halves, extended time. So like
Goalie?
No goalie. No.
You're crossing the line. You're crossing the goal line.
So when you cross that goal line, we call it the try zone, try line. In football, you cross that line, you score a touchdown. In rugby, you cross that line, you have to place that ball with force onto the ground. So the defense can get underneath it and prevent you from scoring. That's why they call it a try. You got to try and touch it down. You kick your extra point, your conversion, 5 meters back from wherever you scored it. So like if you scored it in the corner of the try zone, you have to kick that wide angle through the goalposts. So it's a strategy. Once you cross that try zone line, work it towards the middle of the field, towards the post as best as you can.
What kind of ball is that?
I should have brought one, man.
I don't think I've ever held one of you.
I think so, yeah.
It's an egg-shaped ball, a little bit bigger than American football. It's bigger, it's fatter, rounder on the edges. Like when a football rolls, it goes anywhere, right? Mm-hmm. Rugby balls are designed to roll. Every 3 bounces, it pops up. So it's kind of like an egg-shaped ball. And I've seen it being kicked farther than American football. Like the NFL longest field goal, 63 yards. For rugby, that's like a chip shot for a penalty kick. not a chip shot, but that ball just sails a lot faster too when it's off the foot.
So are they coming after you whenever you're kicking it?
Yeah, so if you're kicking for a penalty kick, kicker places the ball on the tee, they have their goalposts, they get set. As soon as they make a movement towards that ball, the defense can come up and they're back 10 meters, they can come up and block it.
Okay. So they can come up, can they tackle, can they hit?
No, like not on a kick like that. It's right off a tee, there's no long snap, anything like that. This area of the game is a very small portion of it. Like but the conversion part of it, it's actually like it's a cool part of the game where it's respect. Like if a kicker's kicking, the crowd kind of stays quiet. Usually in American sports, we're loud, we're obnoxious. We want them to miss it. Yeah. In rugby, it's just respect the kicker. Like, just make it so quiet where they get in their own heads a little bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
What is it whenever they join up shoulders and they,
That's a scrum. You
Yeah.
got your 8 forwards on each team. The bigger, stronger dudes.
Okay, let's slow down here a minute. So
Yeah.
you got eight forwards on each side of the ball or each side of the field. How does that work? What divides the field? How do you know who's going which way?
I mean, for that half, you're saying you're attacking this way, and you just play that way regardless. Okay. All 15 players on each team are on the field at once, unless you make a substitution.
At any time, they can be anywhere, though, right?
Yep. It's free flowing. There's no goalie like in soccer.
There's line of scrimmage.
There is a line of scrimmage. They call it offsides when somebody gets tackled, and that's when your teammate stands over you for a ruck. That's when a line of scrimmage offsides is set. Okay. That's after a tackle.
What justifies tackle?
You grab someone between the legs, you take them to ground. Their elbows and knees are on the ground.
Elbows and knees on the ground.
Yep. Okay. Same thing like football. But a scrum happens, certain penalties, and then if you fumble it forward. In rugby, nothing can be from your hands forward. No forward pass, no forward pass itself, no pitching forward, anything like that. So if you knock it on forward, you set up for a scrum. It's like a face-off. You've seen, you guys are hockey guys. I'm sure. You guys hockey guys. It's just a way to restart the game. So mainly after knock-ons, all 8 forwards on your team and the opposition, you've got 2 props and a hooker in the middle in the front row. They're your big, short, stocky dudes. You got 2 second rows behind them. They're your tall, lanky giraffes, as we call them. 2 flankers on each side. And then an 8-man who's like controlling the scrum, like the bus driver of it all. There's a certain way you bind up, grabbing waistbands, jerseys. It could be a dangerous part of the game because you have 8 people against other 8 people. That's a lot of force. Big, strong dudes. So the official, controlled environment, they use a cadence, crouch, bind, set, and all the front rows, 3 versus 3, it's shoulder-to-shoulder contact, and they're just literally trying to make the opposition as uncomfortable as possible. And your team, if it's your put-in, you roll the ball right down the middle. Your hooker hooks the ball back with their foot, and it's a time where you go to a dark place and just push like none other and just drive that opposition back. And I tell you what, when you win a scrum, it's that like ego boost, like, yeah, we did that. Now we got to run for more. Run more.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
I mean, I know what it is.
I used to have a fascination on ESPN. They would have like Games of the World, this show. Uh-huh. And I don't know, there was like Saturday, like late Saturday nights or Sunday mornings, they would broadcast rugby games.
Saturday's a rugby day. Rugby is always on Saturday. And
I would get very excited and sit there and watch that. And then even Australian rules football, which I know is different, but some of that.
I don't know a thing about Aussie rules.
Well, and then there's also like, aren't there different types of rugby? Like you got your 15-man, but isn't there also like an 8-man or?
So we play both versions at Rio. In the springtime, it's 7 versus 7. Okay. That's the Olympic version.
Yeah.
Actually, they played rugby in the past Olympics, 7 versus 7, which is rugby without those big forwards. So it's more same size pitch. It's for your fast, mobile, skilled guys or girls. We have a women's team as well. Sevens is the Olympic version. It's fast, it's quick, but it's 2 7-minute halves, so quicker games.
Oh my, okay.
It's a lot. It takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, 2 7-minute halves.
Yeah. And you got to be a complete athlete for sevens because it's just you're covering a big pitch.
Covering twice as much.
Twice as much ground. And yeah, it's a shorter duration of game, but tackling, rucking, catching, passing, kicking, you got to be a complete athlete.
What's rucking?
Rucking is when you get tackled. The defense can try to grab that ball when you're on the ground. So if you're a defender there,
you're on the ground, so you go down.
The offense will come up and like surround you so that you can push the ball backwards. Right there.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
And then it's not like it's a dead ball.
No, but they want to block the guys on defense. Like,
so they're shielding him.
Yeah, so that they can push the ball backwards and somebody can pick it up and start the game again.
Or
because like every time you're tackled,
take a break,
the ball has to go backwards.
Okay,
right.
Yep.
Or even like in a scrum, you've got to kick the ball backwards to the back of the scrum.
Okay.
So if you get tackled, play doesn't stop. Like
no whistle.
No whistle. It's keep playing unless there's a penalty of some sort. But your teammates basically stand over you, puppy guard you. And if you're a defender, you want that ball, you have to use your shoulders, use contact, and drive people off the ball. Yeah. Rucking is probably
and that's rucking. That's
such a physical game, though, man. Like you see all the guys that play. Like sometimes you won't know, like, are those guys wrestlers or what? Because like they have cauliflower ears and stuff. You know, like wrestlers. No, rugby player.
Always a black eye on the team. Yeah. It's gnarly.
Yeah,
yeah.
We sign up for it.
Yeah.
Any pads at all?
You can wear a scrum cap, which is like a leather head football helmet.
Yeah,
but it's kind of like a false sense of security. Like people think you're invincible once you have this on, but nope, it's just.
Do most players wear those, or is it like a?
No. It's really protect against cauliflower ear.
Okay.
I used to tape my ears so they wouldn't get ripped off because I played a thing called second row in the scrum, and it does happen.
Ears get ripped off.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, a little
savages.
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of thought. I mean, OU has rugby.
OU, yep.
OU has rugby. Who else? Who are you playing at Rio?
We're playing Baldwin Wallace, Cedarville University, Robert Morris, a lot of Ohio, Pennsylvania schools, California University of Pennsylvania. That's a mouthword. That's a mouthful. But what makes us different, like a lot of colleges have rugby programs, rugby clubs.
A club team.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're varsity. So that's what brought me here is that there's only about 15 varsity programs in the entire country. So our guys are on scholarship. They have athletic trainers. I actually know what their GPA is. So there's only about 15 full-time coaches in the country, and they're either on the West Coast or East Coast.
Uh-huh.
So that's what makes us special is we actually give a dang about rugby and offer it as a varsity sport.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me, you arrive at University of Rio Grande.
Yeah.
Probably had never seen it.
I actually came up for a visit. I visited my family for Christmas in Milwaukee, and then on my way back, they said, "Hey, come in for a visit." I'm like, "Okay, great." Yeah. Stopped in, and I loved it. I loved the area, even in the wintertime. There's had a lot of ice storms in December, January.
Yeah. Not a pretty time for this area.
Yeah, but then they're like, you enjoy it now because it's like Vietnam hot when in the summertime.
Yeah.
So when you get here,
okay,
how do you go about starting a rugby program from, I assume, ground zero? I mean,
it's really making connection with the community. I live right in the town of Rio, so just telling my neighbors, hey, there's a new sport coming to town, and they were actually very supportive day one from it. No one was against it. They were just interested about it.
Yeah.
Honestly, the first 6 months on the job, I didn't sleep. I was always networking, recruiting like crazy. There was no rugby, very, very few rugby players, people that know what rugby is in Southern Ohio.
Right.
And that time of the year, I really started recruiting February, March. Mm-hmm. And the small high school recruiting pool for rugby, most of those guys are signed already.
Right.
So I used my coaching contacts from my previous school to just call in some favors, say, hey, I started a new program. If you have any unsigned seniors, like I want them,
I'll take them.
Yeah. And, I mean, obviously, if they have good grades and good athletic build, yes. But if you look at my roster, only 3 players are from Ohio. The rest are from Charlotte, St. Louis, Seattle, L.A., Guam, Fiji, South Africa, and England.
How many players on your team?
25.
Okay. 25. So Rio's bringing in 25 kids, of which 15 of them are here. Are all these kids here just for rugby?
Oh yeah.
Are they all on scholarship, or how does that work?
Some sort of scholarship, academic, federal grants, athletic scholarship. Yeah, and that's. I was telling Chad here that we've got 2 boys transferred from UCLA here.
Oh.
UCLA, like Southern California, and they're coming here to play rugby.
You're like, man, one of these things is not like the other. Yeah.
I've got a Scottish player, or he's English, but he's of Scottish descent and played for his U20 national Scotland team.
Okay.
That's an international player. A guy that's represented Guam in their sevens. Like, you know how we have the Can-Am, Pan Am Olympic Games? They did the same thing like the South Pacific Island Games, and he's represented Guam in that. The South Pacific, Fiji, Tonga, Samoa, huge in rugby.
So your team, I mean, it's a first-year team, but, like, you've got some dudes, sounds like.
Have you had any games?
Yeah.
We had our first match in program history last Saturday, and
Tell them the score.
91-0. That was our first match against Baldwin Wallace.
Did you win?
Yes.
Oh, you won.
Yeah.
91-0.
Okay. How many points is a goal?
5 for a try, which is like our touchdown. 5 points for a try. 7 or
nothing. First year in rugby.
First ever game.
First game ever. You beat them 90. How long's Baldwin Wallace's program been around?
40 some years.
Ooh. What the hell? What happened?
Their coach is fired, dude.
Well, if he's not, he should. Don't ask the Chubbies. My God, how do you come in here and beat a team 91-0? Your first out of the gate.
We actually had only 4 practices too because we were on quarantine for COVID.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so we did our job.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But I really think it's the fact that we can recruit, give out scholarships, and bring in some ballers.
So you were pleased with what you did, even with the late start. You were pleased with the team that you brought in.
As a coach, you're never happy, right? You're going to think about those 2 drop passes, that bad switch, stuff like that. And then I'm like, oh, I should have subbed that player in a little bit early. Mm-hmm. But so like, I understand mercy rules and stuff like that, but I truly believe in today's world, like, that field is the only equal opportunity place that our players have to represent themselves. After college, life is different, right? You can't just go beat up somebody on the streets, right? Legally.
Right.
In rugby, you can. It's part of the game. Not beat up somebody, but you know what I mean? Like, have fun, hit somebody. And, our guys, we call it laying the wood, where you just, it's like running into a 2x4. It's they put on some big hits.
Not where I was going with that.
That's the term we use.
Laying the wood is hitting somebody like a 2x4. That's what so you'll say, hey, let's go lay some wood, and that means it's time to get nasty.
Getting smacked up.
Time to get nasty.
Yeah. But I mean, after the match, my hat's off to Baldwin Wallace that they shook our hands, head up, and we signed up for that. I see guys with black eyes that are just they look rough, and they were just happy to be there. They shook my athletic director's hand, saying, "Thank you for letting us use the locker room. It's a game of respect." And
are they not used to that? I mean, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I'm just saying. I mean,
kind of. I mean, yes. I mean, Baldwin Wallace is a bigger school than Rio, but they're just so thankful for everything. It's entitled to nothing is kind of what
well, and
rugby players
don't you
are.
think that's kind of that's more about the culture of the sport, right? I mean,
camaraderie, right? You just go through hell for 80 minutes, and
like the professional club teams, or I don't know, there's only like a huge party after the games where like both teams party together, right?
It's called a social, and in other parts of the world. Yeah, they go. They put on their nice clothes. They go clubbing or go to the pub.
Yeah.
Here in America, we usually bring in a bunch of pizzas, subs, whatever, and we have a post-game social, and it's huge. Mm-hmm. If you look at my office, in my man cave at home, filled with jerseys and T-shirts, it's a sign of respect where you trade jerseys. Not jerseys, but like warm-up T-shirts and stuff. Okay. So like our kit, as we call it, always have extra T-shirts where. Hey, if you just hit me really hard at that 20th minute mark, I want to trade jersey or trade T-shirts with you. It's like a remembrance. Like you just kicked the crap out of me. I want to remember that for the rest of my life.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah.
So other parts of the world, yes, they'll meet at the pub and go party all night and stuff, whatever. But the college scene, bring a bunch of pizzas to the game, let the boys talk a little bit, trade Snapchats, whatever.
Yeah.
But then get on the bus and go home.
Is there a professional rugby league?
Yes, it's called Major League Rugby.
Here, you're like in the United States?
Yep. Yeah, all over the world, yes. But here in the States, it's been, I think, in their 4th year now, Major League Rugby. I was very fortunate to play in it down in Austin.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's been 2 years of the player rugby draft, or collegiate player draft. So gentlemen graduate, they join a draft like the NFL. in the past 2 years, I've had 6 players get drafted.
Oh, awesome.
Okay.
It's cool. It's a cool thing to put on your resume.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, are you pretty high? I know nothing. Are you really are you the shit in rugby?
I don't want to say that.
I mean, well, you can say it. This is the land of the Chubbies, bud. We bring our modesty
They
with
brought
us.
me in from Boston to be here.
Yeah, you're known. Yeah, I mean,
I went to school for this, and I don't know. I think we do all right.
Well, if you just beat a team 9, that's 18 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
18
so-
Tries.
tries.
Yeah,
18
so-
try what?
Try.
A try.
Just a try.
TRY.
Just TR 18 tries.
So how many
Blown away.
you say you play like an average of like 7 games would necessitate a season or would be a
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
And how many home
So usually 4 home, or for us this season, it was 4 home games and 3 away. Our match this weekend's canceled for COVID. The visiting team from Pennsylvania they said we can't travel. I'm like,
Yeah.
So they told me that yesterday, of course, and
That's
then
right, yeah.
So you're
trying to
down
find
to
a
6.
replacement. I'm sorry,
You're down to 6.
down to 6 games.
down
Yeah,
to 6.
3 home games. What was beautiful about last weekend, right? Like, rugby's exotic to this area, and
Yeah.
I had 500 people in support on our hill. We have a beautiful hill that just pretty much is like a bowl around our
So
pitch.
do people just sit there around the hill, or is
They
there?
sat there. There was RVs from alumni there playing cornhole,
Oh, my.
tailgating. I got goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah.
We had the volunteer fire department. It's September 11th too, so
Yeah.
they got their ladder truck out, raised an American flag. We did a moment of silence, jersey presentation. Our president and athletic director, we presented him a game signed ball for the trophy case, just saying it's our first match.
Yeah.
It was really cool. And there was about Rio Grande, 800 residents, about 500 in attendance in that match.
That's unbelievable. That's great, man.
Hey, that's wonderful to do for a town.
Yeah, well, I'm going to the next home game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's. I mean,
Free admission, free parking. We had a food truck, the Greenleaf food truck. So home, smash burgers. Like they put a ball of meat, smash burger.
yeah.
Oh man, I've had a few burgers this summer from them.
yeah. So that's. I mean, that has just any time you can grow like that. I mean, that's wonderful.
What a great thing.
A lot of things are they're
Yeah.
cutting back, and I mean, here you're bringing and thinking how many people he's bringing in from out of the country into Southern Ohio that possibly could stay or be a donor one of these days, or nothing bad gonna come of it.
Well, what I think's really cool is like here's Baldwin Wallace probably driving down here like where in the hell is this place?
Well, it's their first game.
Yeah,
you know.
They probably play us in basketball.
yeah, this is their first one. You know, it's their first game. All this, they come down here, and all of a sudden there's
91.
500 people, dude.
And 91-0.
Yeah, and get hammered, but I mean, get taken absolutely behind the woodshed. I mean,
Laid some wood.
They laid the wood.
yeah. I mean, but what a day.
So what's
I mean-
not trying to dive too deep in here with you, and if you don't want to answer this, you don't have to. But what does a program like that? How do they justify giving you a budget? Like, is that to grow? Are you responsible for raising any funds? I mean, like, I don't know how this, how I don't know if I'd call it I don't know how you'd start up a sport. How would you?
Well, I mean,
Your
the athletic budget,
Yeah.
the athletic department probably does that. And then, I mean, if they're not charging admission, I mean, it's probably they're not trying to generate a lot of revenue right now, probably. Or
What are they trying to do? Just retract or attract?
Trying to get on the front ground of rugby in the States, right? So of all the colleges, like I said, there's about 15 to 18 varsity programs across the country.
That's it.
Yeah.
Out of how many colleges are there?
Oh, my God.
Aren't there
I
like
mean-
how many FBS schools are there?
oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't have any idea.
I think there's something like 200 and some FBS.
Probably. I mean,
Schools.
I mean,
Tyler
the
looked
thing
that
I
up.
think it's really cool about Rio getting on this on the
FBS colleges.
forefront. I mean, they could very well become widely known for
130,
their
yeah.
rugby. I mean, they did that in soccer for a little bit.
Well, they're still there, aren't they? Aren't
I
they
don't
one
know
of the
whether they
top
get as
soccer
a-
programs?
I think they're number 1 in the Red River States Conference. Don't quote me on that, but last I saw, they were number 1. Our women's soccer team was number 4 in their conference. Yeah, they're
Now, you also said that there's a women's rugby program.
Yep. So they're going to play spring sevens. It's tough to find So the recruiting pool's tough. Like, it's small. Like, there's not a lot of varsity high school teams in the country.
Right.
Like, there's only 15 college teams.
So you're recruiting like probably they've played in clubs and stuff.
Clubs, yeah, and very social levels in high school. A lot of crossover athletes. Okay. And then, so that's boys, right? Like, they play contact sports in high school. And not to, say this is the trend for women, but usually girls don't pick up sports till they're in or contact sports till they're in college. So on the women's side, I'm used to crossover athletes, the soccer girls that don't get those offers, come play rugby.
Yeah.
My strategy on the women's side, I can see a database of the Ohio National Guard. And I just find women that are looking to get a GI Bill to pay for their college. National Guard, those girls are very disciplined. They like direction. They like contact, physicality. And the women I have on my team are all in the National Guard Scholarship Fund.
So you coach all rugby teams there?
Yeah.
Like
head coach. I've got 2 assistants that are awesome, very experienced. One's from Ireland and the other's from Denver.
And did you have the chance to hire those folks? Probably, yeah.
I have hands down one of the best coaching staffs in collegiate rugby.
And you, I'm sure, had worked with these folks before.
Yeah. They're very experienced. They've been coaching rugby longer than I've been alive. Yeah. So It looks
awesome. like rugby practice is not for the faint of heart. What I did see was I think it was on Facebook or something.
No, I sent it to you, didn't I?
Yeah, you sent it to me. Yeah, the guy's bear crawling up the hill.
Yeah. The one you sent us.
I was like, holy crap!
The hill, yeah.
Is that the hill that you were talking about that everybody's laid out?
So we hashtag it "Fill the Hill," and gosh, the Rio Grande, the town of Rio Grande, came out and filled that hill last Saturday, but. It's a beautiful natural viewing area for the fans, but it's also a conditioning tool.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
Down at Red Valley, so on the valley, there's very little wind. On the pitch, there's very little wind. And then, to get to our locker room, up to the athletic center, they have to walk down that hill and back up.
Where's the locker room?
By the gym?
Yep, yeah.
What is that?
Line Center.
Line Center.
Yeah. So you guys just coming from there, going all the way down the field. There is a lot of fields down there.
Oh, yeah.
There's a soccer field.
We have lots of space, lots of expansion.
Right. The soccer field's where you're playing.
The old soccer practice field. I don't know. The soccer field is the soccer field, but we inherited their old practice field, and it's beautiful.
Well, like now, you get a few more of those 91-0 wins and 500 people at games. They'll be building your own building down there by the thing. You won't be walking down that hill anymore, man. It'd be like, there'll be the something center for rugby.
But here's the cool thing.
Yeah,
the Momsen Center.
Momsen land.
Yeah.
What was cool about that bear crawl video you saw? That wasn't me doing that. Like, the guys said we had a bad practice. This was 2 days ago. Like, Coach, can we run the hill? And I'm like, what? You guys want to run the hill? Like, they're so disciplined on their own. They make my job a lot easier. Like, I never have to yell at practice. They're gentlemen on campus. The whole school loves them because, one, they're big people on campus, so they just but they're teddy bears. Like, they're not your typical jocks slamming people in the locker, whatever, right? They're holding doors open for people. They're cleaning up after themselves. But they always carry if they travel in groups, always carry a rugby ball with them. And it's a recruiting tool, trying to get more people involved in the game. But they see it. I've seen it walking around campus. I also teach at Rio. They see a big guy on campus. They just throw the ball at him to see if he catches it. And as soon as he catches it, they're like, all right, practice is next week, 2 o'clock, whatever it is. Like,
so you guys do have like open tryouts down there.
I don't cut redshirt anybody. My philosophy is like, yes, I am a new program, but I want everyone to experience rugby. Like, in some way.
You don't cut people. Like, if they can hack it and go through,
so if Chad and I, if we enroll in Rio,
you won't have to worry about that.
Well, here's the thing, guys. I want to get the community involved in this next spring. I want a 5 versus 5 beer league rugby league.
Oh my!
And here's the thing: it's a grid. It's a small grid. No kicking, no tackling. It's 2-hand tag. Okay. And the grid is probably 20 meters by 15. It's small. It's like a volleyball court.
Yeah.
And no kicking, no tackling, just 2-hand tag.
5-on-5.
5-on-5. Co-ed.
Oh, man.
I'm still out. still out.
don't know
I'm
how far I can
adopting
run.
Chad's theory only when chased.
Yeah.
Because whenever I run.
But I mean, we could definitely find you some guys that would definitely
But
be interested.
it's to
in
get
that,
people
I'll tell you
right.
that,
Like, and it was cool at that first game last Saturday is not many people's held a rugby ball before, let alone kick it.
yeah.
So our athletic director got Daylight Donuts and Gallipolis to donate a couple dozen of donuts. At halftime, we had all the kids or anybody that wanted to go down to the pitch and kick a ball through the goalposts.
Oh, cool.
There was like 40, 50, we were turning people away. And if you made the goal through the goalposts, you got a free donut. And like that was cool for me to see is like people excited about rugby. They didn't know what the heck it was.
Well, that's kind of how you're here. Shout out Phil Malone.
I'll tell you, dude.
Philip Malone.
Philip Malone. He
he's
went.
he's the one that sent me his info.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Hey, you got to get this guy on the show." And I was like, "Yes, we do." I was like, "I want to hear about this." So Phil, he had a connection, didn't he?
Yep. So our kicker, so a gentleman named Caden Harden, he's a senior in the education program. He went to Oak Hill High School.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And I just found him on campus one day. I see him and I'm like, "You look strong, you look fast." I'm like, "What sport do you play?" He goes, "No, I'm just a commuter student." I'm like, "You don't play a sport?" And after talking, like I got him onto the field. We just were kicking a little bit, kicked for his high school football team. Beautiful foot. And then he's ended up starting for our first side, like at
awesome.
fullback. He's taken, so all the tries you score, you kick a 2-point conversion. He had over 20 conversion attempts this past weekend. His leg was a little sore and tired.
I'd say.
Yeah, so Caden, and he's going to be our first alumni in our program because he's graduating this fall. But man, just a gentleman. You know?
question.
So, like, whenever you did that, did they make a lot of your guys, like, are all your guys freshmen, or are they all over the place?
I've got one senior, Caden, who's a connection with Philip there, and then 3 track boys that are throwers for track. One of them is one of our captains, just leaders on campus, but the rest are all freshmen.
Okay.
So it's really tough to build a team as diverse we are, different parts of the country to all come together. But rugby's that different sport. We speak the same language as ruck, tackle.
Well, I would
scrum.
imagine a big part of coaching and recruiting, I would imagine, is, every kid you talk to or everybody you're going to put on the team or consider putting on the team, I'm sure there's a certain prototype that you got to have. Like, hey, look, man, I'm not going to let any knuckleheads on here or whatever. I mean, I'm looking for gentlemen, guys that know how to behave, and that kind of stuff. I mean, and then they naturally kind of gel together, right?
Hands down, you want to recruit. There's a good recruiting philosophy is if there's a guy that you want, like recruiting wise, whatever, if you don't sign him or her, they may beat you once a year. So I sign a guy or somebody signs to University of Michigan, right? They may beat us once a year. But if you sign the wrong kid to your program, they'll beat you every day.
There you go.
In the weight room, right?
Yeah,
Negative
yeah.
attitudes, whatever.
Yeah.
So you may, someone might be a bit undersized. Whatever. We have a strength program. 4
Yeah,
years,
right.
you can put on some
Right.
good size.
Right.
So that's kind of our philosophy is recruit good kids.
Right.
Good people.
Yeah.
And that's why I call them gentlemen. I want them to realize that I'm not that tough coach that's yelling at them, pick it up or whatever. Like I respect my players. And I think that's why they make my job easier is the respect part where they make my job easier. They're not getting in trouble on campus. They're sitting in the T, in the classroom, as I call it, where the front row, right down the middle. They're awesome students. They're gentlemen.
I don't think Rio in general has ever been. I mean, I went there for a year. You went there? Did you go there? You didn't go there? You went to OUC, didn't you? We partied a little bit, but I mean, nothing bad. Like then I moved. I went to hockey and lived at OU. Now
It's different.
that's a different party. But I mean, I think all in general, I mean, and even now as a dad, I can. I would look at Rio as a safe school to go to, wouldn't you?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Nice little campus, real tight knit. How did they do about the housing of these people? Did they had dorms?
Yeah, Rio's booming. It's expanding.
They are. I drove through it. It is, man.
It's just the town itself. The university, a lot of room to develop. I'm just the rugby coach. I don't know much what's going on, but all my guys, they live in the dorms. It's safe. It's clean. They have a great time. That was my favorite part about my college experience is that first semester in your freshman dorm is like, you know, all right, you know, it's messy, it's gross, you know, it's just it's getting to know each other and just different people. Hey, what's your name? And every time I go to the cafe, I always see my guys sitting with other athletes. And
that's good. Yeah.
And I think, and I think that's the draw of a small school like Rio is, I mean, it's a lot of student athletes.
Everybody friends. Everybody.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to see everybody. Mm-hmm. You will see everybody.
Know them by name, hometown, sport, whatever.
It's really good.
A small school, they're dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, and I gotta think that like something like rugby that gets people excited. Like, I mean, at a small school like that, I mean, that's gonna be wildly popular, man.
If you look at,
on Saturdays, the students that are there are going to be.
I just hope our games go around Ohio State football, but I mean,
right.
But if you look at the top 10 rugby schools in the country, they're all small private schools because they know, like, all right, if we invested in football, you know, we got a lot to make a name for ourselves, right? To do a lot to get our name out there. But if we invest in a sport that's developing, name gets out there quickly. I mean, you never heard of my alma mater, American International College, but in the rugby world, that's huge.
That's why I'm still kind of convinced, or I'm still kind of confused on what the overall goal would be, because you're not charging admission, you're not, you're giving scholarships away. So,
well, but I think that it's just development of the university. They're expanding their athletic program.
I get that.
And they're bringing, 25 guys to Rio.
I get all that, but what I'm asking is, what would be the end incentive for that? Because, you know, I doubt that any of these colleges would sign up for losses.
Oh, right. I'm sure that there's probably some forms of subsidies or anything else when you're starting.
Do some of them charge to get into admission? And
what do you mean?
Like if you go to Baldwin Wallace, are you going to pay to watch there?
Yeah.
$2, $5, $12.
That's nothing. That's pennies when you look at the grand scheme of thing. But I truly believe, you know, what I'm designing here is kind of a legacy. Like, create a culture where not just for my students, but my community, my campus, where
sure.
You know, it seemed like a small town like Rio is like a lot of students go home for the weekend. They go to Athens, they go to Columbus. Right. But rugby is always on Saturday. Let's create a fun environment where the students want to stay on campus.
Sure.
But then also, we're on the ground floor of this. I mean, if we can build this program up pretty quick, you know, hopefully, you know, pretty successful in the wins and loss column, that we get more students to come here, be part of a student section, you know, and have that atmosphere, right? Like, why do people, you know, Ohio State football, very successful, dominant powerhouse. West Virginia football, students want to be part of those student sections. They pay full price to go experience that. Not saying that's our, you know, our initiative, but it's to bring life back to campus. It's to...
Well, and I can imagine, like, you know, there's a lot of... Rio has a lot of commuters and that kind of stuff. And a lot of your people that are on campus are probably in other sports and things like that. And I bet a lot... you probably get a lot of support from the other programs, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, my coworkers are phenomenal. Like, we all get along. A lot of experienced coaches there, so it's good to see. When I came in, I'm the newest coach. And it's good to see that there's coaches been there 20, 30 years. I mean,
now, like when they add a women's sport along with it, was that like a Title IX thing? Like when you expand at a...
It could be, but that's more like an NCAA thing, right?
Yeah, they're NAIA. So
which I'm so glad to get away from. Oh, my gosh. The NCAA. No, it was just really... You know, and that's what's cool is, like, how come they don't offer women's football when they could play rugby? And that's what I love about it is, like, baseball to softball, it's different sports, different size ball, different dimensions. Basketball, they use a different size ball. Rugby, same size ball, same size pitch, same rules. And that's why our program, we don't say Rio men's rugby, Rio women's rugby. It's all Rio rugby. And same standards off the pitch, you know, with eligibility, academics, kind of just standards as leaders on campus. Obviously, on the game day, we have different strategies. You know, I think our men's team's more smash mouth, up and down, north and south running. Women's team's more quick and fast. We have different strategies on the pitch, but they all consider themselves teammates. You know, they support each other. They hang out with each other. It's just a good social networking part for them too, and they got each other's back. You know,
It's awesome.
yeah, it's cool.
Does what is a GPA that you had to carry now to play college? athletics?
It's I have a standard of 2.5 GPA. I mean, I graduated high school with a 1.9 GPA. It was terrible. I just didn't apply myself and graduated summa cum laude with honors, 3.9. So that's kind of my big thing is, you know, you can change your life around just pay attention in class.
Yeah.
Show up, turn in your work, reach out, and we have a lot of advising help at Rio that kind of fits our need is guys. That's why our guys are here is they need a small school.
They're there to go to school, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they could play rugby anywhere, to be honest, but a small school like Rio that offers rugby, you know, all right, they're playing rugby, but on the academic side to stay eligible, they're getting that support, that one-on-one attention, small classroom sizes, and their coach is also a professor too. So like if they miss class, they're on that hill, you know.
Now, how do you how do you like, you know, that's kind of the small college dynamic. Not only are you a coach, but you're also you're a professor as well. Do you enjoy that part of it?
I love teaching.
Okay.
I mean, just getting just like the feel for how classes work. Even when I was just a coach, I would miss out on announcements or just being a professor, you know all the academic resources available, so you can help out your own students better. Like, all right, there's tutoring, there's study halls available. I don't know, being a professor, you got kind of more feet on the ground, and you understand kind of how the academic side of things work, which helps out your program in the long run.
Sure.
Hey, extra credit if you come out to the rugby game this weekend.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think it's wonderful. I see nothing negative about bringing in another sport, and especially rugby.
I'm jacked up, man. I think it's exciting. I think that it's a cool thing for the area. And
well, they've been relatively successful at any sport they've tried.
Oh, I know. And I tell you, man, I just wish you a ton of luck and you know, hope that it just continues to grow and blossom, man. I guarantee you got 2 more fans right now.
I appreciate it.
91-0.
Anyone?
And they liked you. You said it's all about camaraderie. I'd have been so pissed.
They shook my hand.
Would you have been pissed?
Oh, well, I would probably be like doing some self-examination.
Well, I'd have shook your hand, and we could. I mean, I don't know. If
I'd have probably hated to look him in the eye.
Well, there wouldn't have been no partying afterwards.
Yeah,
so we'd been working.
Yeah.
We'd had shit to do.
We sign up for that stuff. It's cool.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
I know nothing about the sport of rugby, but just because never been here, you know.
You know, we appreciate the support, but we also do a lot of community service too. Like we're going to local animal shelters, helping walk dogs, play with dogs. I mean, I found my time when I was in college, midterms, finals week, I was always stressed out. So I always felt that going to my friend's house, playing with their dog, just kind of relieved some of that stress.
And half your team is from the other side of the ocean.
Yeah. No, not so much. Just other side of the mainland.
Yeah.
A lot of Californians, a lot of guys from Charlotte, North Carolina, St. Louis, my home state, Wisconsin. Only 3 Ohio guys, and then South Africa is really good at rugby. England as well, and then the South Pacific. So I truly believe every team I've created, every team I've recruited for, the more diverse they are, the stronger they are, and the better experience they have. Because if you're all kind of cut from the same cloth, it's boring.
Well, whenever you've met a lot of people from other places in your travels, and so have I. Yeah. It's always interesting, and it's almost like though you whenever you get to know them, that you're going at it with maybe a little more open mind than if you just meet Joe. I agree. I think from Columbus. You have that kind of diversity. I think it makes the whole team a little closer, man. Yeah, I'm sure they're all learning from them, and they're all learning from them.
Everyone brings their own little piece to the puzzle.
Sure. Yeah.
And like when we go on the bus, one guy's wearing a cowboy hat, the other's wearing a cheese head because he's from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
They all feel when that college experience, when they're looking back, they're like, I felt valued. I felt different, but still part of something. Whereas if they're all from Rio Grande, which would be awesome, but if they're all from the same town, they're just repeating high school. I think they're all here for different reasons, and that diversity, they feel they're special, unique.
And what an option for our local kids.
Oh,
Like this could be the trickle down. And, you could end up, starting things at the YMCAs and getting youth.
I've got a gentleman from Piketon High School, a guy from Galley Academy, so two football players. And I kind of found them late in the summer. They had no plans for the fall. They said, "Hey, come play rugby." "Coach, I don't even know what that is." It's like, all right. I told them it's a lot like football when it's nothing like it. And just to get them out there. And then once they got that ball in the hand, they know they can run with it, potentially score.
how do they like it?
They love it.
They're taking,
Both of them started this week.
Oh, well, there you go, man. Yeah.
So it's cool. And went to Point Pleasant High School against Galley Academy a couple weeks ago, recruiting guys on both sides of that field. So
That's awesome.
it's just trying to get that in early. Hopefully start a high school league in the area.
Yeah.
If those guys don't get those D1 football offers, maybe they come play some rugby.
How do you think I'd go here?
I think it'd get real well. I think that you ought to take a look. If you're liking the looks of some of the high school football players, we've got a ton of them here, man.
Yeah.
That are when they normally, we don't have a lot of guys getting D1 scholarships and stuff like that, but man,
Yeah.
I mean,
This is just another outlet for them.
Yeah, oh, boy.
And we've produced several Rio Grande, not a lot, but a few Rio baseball players.
baseball, and basketball, Yeah.
volleyball.
Yeah.
Several cheerleaders from the area.
Yeah.
Which, that's just all stuff that's going to help with.
Yeah, Belina Cooper's from Jackson. Now, don't hold that against us.
You can't hold that.
Yeah.
Gun to your head.
Yeah.
I just think I just can't see anything bad. It's really neat right now. This is a pretty, he's doing that.
Yeah.
You just had Adina and them starting up their own mountain biking team.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's crazy.
Really cool.
Really cool stuff happening.
Well, and I mean, the thing that's cool, we're two guys with sons, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot more options.
Than we ever had.
Yeah, by the time they're getting ready to go to college or something, I mean, by that time, this program will be 10 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean,
And well on its way.
yeah. I mean, there'll be a lot greater awareness.
Look at wrestling. Wrestling 30 years ago was nothing.
Yeah.
If somebody would have said, "Hey, we started a Rio wrestling team," it would be just like what you're doing right now. Yeah. And now look at it.
Yeah.
That sport's just humongous.
I just think there's a lot to be excited about, man. We really appreciate you coming in.
Yeah.
And
Thank you for having me.
How can they support? How can they go find them?
Just our
YouTube
website.
links, websites, yeah.
Social media, Instagram's key. That's my biggest recruiting tool, especially during the COVID pandemic. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I couldn't travel. I couldn't watch games in person. So Instagram was my biggest recruiting tool, and put up pictures, put up videos, whatever. Most of my guys, when I look at them, like how I got them here was through Instagram.
Awesome.
So Rio, at URIO Rugby, or at Rio Rugby. Facebook, and then we don't have our own YouTube channel, but Facebook, University of Rio Grande, we do Rugby 101 videos. I spent 8 hours this summer making 8 2-minute videos.
Okay.
Rugby 101s, what a scrum is, what
I
a
didn't
line
watch
out.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, so
You got to get your games on YouTube, man.
Yeah, we got to get it. We got to get up there.
Well, it's easy. Isn't it? I went up to do the player of the game the other day, and we were talking about Jackson High School. I bet you that you could even get a program at Rio Grande to come. That's what Jackson does. Students run ours.
Yeah.
And it is top notch.
Everything is on TV now. People see COVID kind of taught us how.
Yeah, they do instant
But
replay.
right now, though, I think you probably want to keep going to that 500 mark, getting people at the games.
Halftime kickoff competitions.
Yeah.
Or go post kicking competitions.
Where can they see your schedule?
Just the website.
The website. Okay.
Yeah.
RioRugby.com.
It's RioRedstorm.com.
Okay. You choose rugby,
And we're varsity sports, so it's actually like on the athletics website.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Post game, articles, scoring outlines, and everything. Who scored? You can see the rosters, see the coaches.
Okay.
Yeah. Other than that, I went to the local BP this morning to fill up on gas. There's a newspaper article on our team that I never even saw. There's a quote from me that I didn't,
realize you gave.
They copied your Instagram.
Right. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Everybody's probably been pretty open to you, though.
Yeah. And people just were left and right. Like after the game, I got a bit emotional because a lot of things to overcome this summer. 6 months of like recruiting guys that, all right, so recruiting this summer, all the guys were pretty much signed that I wanted to bring in here. So I had to find guys that kind of flew under the radar, procrastinated.
Yeah.
And gosh dang, like I found some good kids that make my job a lot easier. Good students.
Question: how are you doing COVID? As far as like what happens if one of your players gets it? What's the rules right now for you?
For us, any student that is vaccinated, they have to be monitored daily. Give symptom checks to our health professionals if they're vaccinated. If they're not vaccinated, quarantine in specific housing on campus for 10 days, and then tested right afterwards. My whole coaching staff were vaccinated, but I mean, before practices, temperature checks, we're doing our best to kind of keep everything at a minimum, stay amongst our teams for the most part. I don't know. I mean, we've only played one game so far, so that contact with other schools is kind of at a minimum right now.
Yeah. Yeah, but you've already had one game canceled because of it.
But
They just didn't want to travel. It wasn't that they couldn't travel; they just didn't want to travel.
Yeah.
Well, after you just put that ass whooping.
Well, I was going to say, I think that
You said it, not me.
Yeah, I know the coaches aren't allowed to say it or won't say it, but I think that what you're seeing a lot of times now is if they don't have a very strong program, or maybe they get a couple guys hurt, they're
take
like,
their ball,
oh
go
boy,
home.
yeah, well, COVID, like nobody has to give an excuse.
But
if
they
they
get
want to
free
cancel a ball
pizza
game.
afterwards.
Yeah. Where's the
It's hard
pizza
to
from?
wash that ass whooping with free pizza.
Ed Miller with Giovanni's Pizza. Shout
There you
out.
go.
I know Ed's about half my cousin.
There is nothing better.
I think.
Jackson, we used to, I coached football here at Jackson for a long time and played, and I always loved it. Like, we always fed the visiting team after the game. And it's like, man, if you just went out there and just absolutely beat the hell out of a team, and then you're sitting there watching them eat your hot dogs and stuff, And I thought, oh, yeah.
What a power move.
Yeah. Hey, are you guys hungry?
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah. You want some more pizza?
You went and got him some $5 hot readies and beat him down.
Yeah.
No, you had Giovanni's.
Yeah.
Oh,
That works out well.
yeah.
But it was cool. And all these families flying in, too. Flying in from Southern California, St. Louis. There was a bar, drinks, just on the other side of the highway. Yeah. I had to tell all the parents, hey, meet me there. We'll go have our, post-game celebrations, parents and coaches.
Yeah.
Because they always want to take me out. I'm like, I can't just dedicate my time to one family,
Yeah.
So we had a good time last week, Saturday, just meeting family. And then my family from Milwaukee drove down. There was a lot of people here. It was cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's rare you get to be a part of like an inaugural game like that, man. I mean, that's pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. Man.
Our next home game is Rockets over Rio. I've never been to one of those, but the mayor of Rio Grande's my neighbor. The mayor of Rio Grande's my neighbor, putting on this $15,000 fireworks show.
Nice.
When's Bob Evans Farm Fest? They doing that this year?
Yes, same weekend, October 9th.
October 9th.
Okay. And it's going to be
That's a big
Rockets
deal.
over.
You'll like that. That's cool.
yeah.
What time do you guys generally start your game?
Either noon or 2 o'clock. Because a lot of teams we play are club, so like they want to get back to campus before midnight. Like I would love to play under the lights, right? It's just a different vibe, different atmosphere.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of our competition, the nearest game is Franciscan of Steubenville, which is up in
4 hours away. 3 hours
so
away.
take their time to travel here in the morning and then travel afterwards. They want to.
This was a long day.
Yeah.
It's a long day. You're 8 hours on the road that day plus playing a game.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just hope there's more varsity programs that pop up in Southern Ohio, Indiana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soon, so we don't have to travel as much.
Yeah. It'd be great.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, look them up at RioRedstorm.com. And, hey, hit that like and subscribe button on the Chubby Bartenders. Steve. And Steve.
Yeah.
Look.
Yep. Thank you, Steve.
Hey, we got all kinds of
the
goodies. I
koozies
can't
too.
get all
The
the goodies
koozies.
in the picture. I can't get all of them in the picture,
Yeah.
boys. How many goodies we got?
Corey, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Hey, look us up. See you.